Welcome to episode 80 of the OVW podcast, the official, unofficial podcast. Oh, Lord, we've been doing this for 80 episodes. I can't even get the intro right. The unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. My name is Jack Minoaks.
And I'm Brian Hines. With us, as always, is the disembodied voice of our producer. Actually, I'm happy to see you.
Hey.
It's been
1 week?
No.
Sorry.
No bare naked, no ladies. It's just been since Saturday, but a lot's happened since then, and I really haven't seen anybody. You just got here a minute ago.
Yeah, I've been snowed in.
And
Yeah,
you have too.
I have too. And I just realized we're those people who don't take
Been
our
at the
Christmas,
Russian embassy.
We're those people who don't take our Christmas decorations down.
Well, we would have if we wouldn't have all been snowed in at our houses.
That is true. But we managed to make it to the studio today
We did.
because we are going to get into all the action from OVW Nightmare Rumble 2025. What day of the week? Was that January 4th?
That was indeed January 4th.
I mean,
It was a Saturday.
It was.
As per pay-per-view rules at OVW.
Of course.
I've done nothing other than rewatch this podcast and put in a 14-year-old's amount of video games in the last 2 days.
I'm jealous.
I'm a freshman again. I'm failing all my classes, let me tell you.
you're going to have to go to study hall.
Yeah.
I've been feeling the video game vibe. Underneath the hoodie and the unofficial sport coat, I am wearing the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out shirt that my brother got me for Christmas last year. So I've been looking forward to it, too. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Today we're getting into all the action. You already said that. Let's do the tour update. Let's do the show. We have Fan Zone live in about an hour, so we're running on a tight schedule here.
We are.
Yeah, we only have an hour, so we got to get to this.
I'm trying to eat before fans.
All right, we'll try to wrap this up. Every Thursday, you can catch OVW Rise at Hotpoint Davis Arena, 6:30 p.m. Doors open earlier before that. There's a couple of dark matches, but they do Overdrive at 6:30 and then Rise at 7. We have OVW Winter Warfare in New Kensington, Pennsylvania, January 25th, 2025. You can get tickets to any and all of these events.
More on the way, I hear.
Nothing's
actually officially been announced, but
they didn't announce Tough Love.
Oh yes,
they did announce
Tough
Love.
Which was Tough Love is
February.
also February 8th.
Yes.
And that is also at Hotpoint Davis Arena. You can
is.
catch tickets to all of these shows at OVWTix.com.
Bluegrass home front. There you go. Clap it in. Clap it out in case you need it. Let's cover all the action.
We're back. Let's move along.
Let's peel it back. We got 1 second. That's how audio people cut their stuff, is you clap it so that people can hear the loud thing in case you need to add stuff in.
So
afterward.
audio people give you the clap. Got it.
That's what it is. Yeah, Malachi personally gave it to me many times.
Eee.
All right.
Actually, I guess you've given the clap to Malachi, given that you're the one doing the clap in.
That sounds like an A and B conversation, so I'll just see my way out.
It's actually like a P and P conversation.
Oh my! To coin a phrase.
All right, don't do that. We're in 2025. We're putting a ban on bodily noises in the microphone. But we're bringing even more body talk.
Yeah.
All right, so Nightmare Rumble 2025. What a night it was, right? JBL comes out at the beginning, the wrestling god, WWE Hall of Famer, WWE champion JBL. John Bradshaw Layfield
Weird
comes out.
pre-show. We're not really going to talk about much of it, but it was a weird pre-show.
I thought it had like a little like Saturday night's main event energy. Like the people come out. I'm getting ready for the Rumble tonight. I'm gonna kick everybody's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that part. Felt like we needed a little more. Is all I'm saying. Seems like we needed more going on because they took 5 or 6 minute breaks between the time they had people coming out, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it was more. It wasn't really for.
They're trying something new.
Yeah.
It did have a really good vibe. There was an electricity in the air that isn't you don't see all that often at live events these days, and it was great that they could recreate that, and you could feel it at Davis Arena. Maybe it was just me.
No, I thought that it felt like big fight night feel, I guess you could say. Like
yeah.
Walking in, talking
Dude,
to everybody.
it was packed in there, man.
Yeah.
It was a great, very reactive, very
into it.
Enthusiastic audience.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the first match was between Justice Davis and Jake Painter. Jake Painter was
Also known as the Cody Rhodes we have at home.
Or the Chris Jericho that we had 15 years ago. Or no,
it's an art top.
The nice way to say this is he wears his influences on his sleeve.
There you go.
And his big ass weird coat.
I mean, let's start there. I guess we've already broached the subject. I don't think we can talk about Jake Painter without talking about the Jake Painter of it all. Like he does, like he is very talented. He's a very talented wrestler, but I feel like almost like it is too obvious where he comes from.
In terms of influences?
In terms of who he wants to be and what he wants to do, and
that is very, very obvious on his part. But then on the other hand, you've got Iceman Justice Davis, who is doing a wonderful job at forging his own identity his own skill set. And
I enjoy him more and more every time I see Justice, from the presentation as far as the gimmick. Like, we've never heard him talk on mic, but I kind of have a pretty good idea of what he's about, and I enjoy his wrestling. I think it's all great.
Wow, thanks. That's exactly what I was going to say. So,
I'm sorry.
That's
I
all
do
right.
that a lot. I'll stop.
That's okay. Why stop now?
Justice Davis has been a favorite for a long time. OVW Academy standout. I think that pairing him here with Jake Painter kind of makes is an unfortunate pairing for Jake Painter. So I do think that with against anyone other than Justice Davis, people might be a little more willing to walk down that path with him, willing to kind of put up with the Cody Rhodes of it all and the code breaker of it all. But Justice Davis has just been even back when he was first premiering, the Davis Arena has been behind him.
Yeah.
Unfortunate he did not pick up the win here.
Unfortunately, no. But it wasn't for a lack of trying. It was a good effort on his part and a great way to start the show. It was a great way to wet the palate.
Sure.
And set the table for what we were about to see, because I don't think any of us were ready for that. I know I wasn't.
No. It was an interesting night at Davis Arena. Up next, we see Cash Flow doing his normal, I'm going to come, it's a wrestling, it's a pay-per-view, he has a title match, he's coming for the title, et cetera, et cetera. Up next, the more important part, I think. Do I, honest question, do I not give the talking segments enough credence?
No.
I just kind of am always like, eh.
Well, we generally stick to the action.
Yeah.
Well, in a talking segment with two people or more, we give that a little bit more credence because things happen. But dude talking to the camera is just saying, I'm going to go win it. There's
Right.
never any great emotional thing or even generally
Well, there's
funny
only so
thing.
much you can say in a title match 30-second promo.
Yeah, just direct to camera all by yourself. That's a limited scope of things to do. So we just acknowledge it and move on generally.
The title match up next in bout 2 is for the Rush division between Super Z and Star Rider. I'm going to let you take it.
This was the one that we've been waiting for. I've been waiting to see Super Z versus Star Rider one-on-one in a clean match
Right.
for the title. No ladders, no having a bunch of friends over and
Right.
everybody trying to fight for the title. One-on-one. I was glad to see it. Everybody looked sharp. Both Star Rider and Super Z came out with an intensity that you don't always see. And given this situation,
Super Z especially.
yeah,
And Super Z's kind of been over this last few months. The singles matches are, either squashes or he gets beat up by the Revolution at the end, whatever.
Yeah.
Been in a lot of multi-man matches. Been in a lot of, the reverse rumble, the ladder, been, added onto Beaches and Cream as a third tag,
right.
et cetera, et cetera. This, though, was the match. We've been saying that Super Z deserves the championship just because he's put in a ton of work, and that suit is hot.
He somehow got, since we're on the actual podcast and not Fan Zone Live, we can say he got over as a zombie who never spoke.
Right.
And then he became this new persona and is doing so great in it. Yeah, he definitely, it's his time.
And then to have a match like this to kind of carry the momentum forward into the championship reign.
Yeah.
After kind of like I was saying, the months of odds and ends pieces, multi-man matches, et cetera, I think is I think that people, I heard rumblings of like, oh, that's Jamin's coming for that. I think they're going to go in a different direction. I think Jamin's coming back for Cal, personally. Yeah. So I think that Super Z in this performance has opened himself up a myriad of challengers. I don't think there's any doubt, that he can't defend this on a regular one-on-one match basis, right?
Oh, definitely. Now that he is the Rush Division champion, it'll be interesting to see what the Rush Division looks like, because he's been such a staple of these scramblers and these ladder matches and
Great point.
part of the crowd trying to reach the top. Now that Super Z is on top, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the Rush Division
falls into line,
and I'm sure he's going to have a great time sitting back and watching.
Absolutely. Get Super Z out on commentary a couple times.
That'd
See what kind of
be
shenanigans that's about. I mean, that's something that they've been doing. Something they've done for a long time is anytime. I mean, J-Rod, Star Rider during his Rush Division title reign was always on commentary. Will Austin was always on commentary. Yeah. So I'd like to get Super Z out there and see what kind of silliness we can.
I would love it.
Congratulations, Super Z.
Yes,
seriously.
Congratulations.
Lilith Grimm and Freya the Slaya, they have their
a couple of promos letting us know that they're ready to rumble.
And then we get to said rumble.
Good Lord. We have all the names. We
do.
Sure do.
So J-Rod, like as we were saying, comes out to commentary.
Not in any sort of ring attire. She came out very well dressed.
Right.
First night of the year. Best foot forward.
Absolutely. Looking like a champion. If I think that's a fine notion. Like if dudes wear suits, like
absolutely.
Like women champions wear ball
yeah.
gowns.
Like for example, Ric Flair always
has a suit. I mean, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes on the first episode of Raw, the only action he did was in a suit.
Was
he had
the one on the Netflix?
Yeah, he had a Cody cutter on Kevin Owens.
I have not seen it yet.
In a suit and dress shoes. So like why can't the ladies come out in a nice dress?
They absolutely should.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we started with, as she cemented herself in the number one position on the past Thursday night show,
Leela
Feist and Dayami Ho. We were big fans of Dayami whenever she was around before.
Yes.
I'm hoping that this is kind of the beginning of seeing her back a little more consistently. I want to kind of start off with just who are your standouts
from the Women's Rumble? Well, I mean, starting with the top of the food chain, Freya.
Okay. Sure.
I mean, she had the big moment where everybody, it was the classic, oh my God. Back in the day, it would have been like Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant enters.
I believe the word you're looking for is dogpile. They kind of dogpiled on her.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, that.
Who else?
I couldn't catch some of these names. Gosh,
I have a
lovely
handful.
Miss Larkin.
That was one of mine.
I loved the promos.
That was one of mine.
She was probably most entertaining.
I think that she for me probably amongst the newer faces was the biggest standout.
Yeah.
Holly Dead, always great to see
Always.
Holly Dead back. I'm sure that she stays busy.
Oh yeah.
But there seems to be like any time she wanted a place in the women's division.
Boom.
She has it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I figured we'd see Elaine Negroni back. There's something about Elaine Negroni that I like. This kind of Puerto Rican pipeline that OVW is building between Elaine Negroni, Hima, who was our friend, Mr. Soleil.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting talent coming through that pipeline. Love seeing that. But yeah, for me, honestly, my biggest takeaway was Miss Larkin.
Yeah.
So now you guys have not hit upon my MVP of the Women's Rumble, which is Angelica Risk.
Oh wow, actually that is a really good point. I was thinking about that when I was watching it, that I needed to cement that in my head. Angelica Risk did have a hell of a showing.
We hadn't seen her in a while, so it was kind of a surprise to see her come in towards the very, very end. She was probably in the last 5, something like that.
Yeah, she was right there in the thick of it.
Yeah, she was entry number 17.
And quite the strong performance from Angelica Risk.
Always.
Everybody got treated the same. I'll just put it like that.
No, Angelica Risk is very special. Angelica Risk is like quite the performer.
She is.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe she's turned it on. Maybe something's clicked with her. Maybe it's clicked with me. I don't know. But this seems like, for me, the best Angelica, like all that you could ask for Angelica Risk, right? You got the comedy spot, you got the hard hitting, she's going a million miles a minute. This is like the complete Angelica Risk performance. And to see that inside of a Rumble is like kind of a special thing, because usually Rumbles can be a little, they can be hard to pull off. They can be hard to pull off. They can be hard to get the complete like 360 degrees of your character across in a Rumble, because there's so much going on. And Angelica Risk did a great job of that.
She really did. I mean, she wasn't in there for a long time, but she was in there and had a great time.
She came in at the right time, and yeah, she was fantastic. Sophia Rose comes back on that lucky wild
She
card.
got the randomizer.
Yeah, the randomizer. Not enough for her, unfortunately. My prediction was Tatovic coming out at 20.
Right.
I don't think
Not a great performance out of Tatovic, I don't think.
a little underwhelming from what I had expected, but it's a Rumble. I think that nobody here, and don't try to act cool, had Holly Hood winning.
No. I wasn't even sure she was going to be in it.
Exactly. Her schedule has been so sporadic recently.
Sure.
That
She's
being
on AEW, she's on TNA, she's all over the place.
Her being in the Rumble, much less guaranteeing her a future, but like guaranteeing her a shot at the title, was just kind of. I mean, I'm glad it happened. Like, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But did not expect Holly Hood to win.
No, I didn't either. And now that sets the stage for Holly Hood versus J-Rod.
Yeah. Holly Hood versus J-Rod.
Which is something we've not talked about for 2 minutes on any of our content.
Because none of us had it. None of us could have seen it coming, really.
No.
And in retrospect, maybe that was a little short-sighted, but who knows. Up next, EC3 has one of his EC3 promos, but it's like not a, what do you guys call it, a TikTok shot?
Yeah, it's not vertical video.
No, this was actually a produced video. He didn't do this one himself. He had some help.
He showed up early that day.
He showed up early that day. So,
which is always nice.
That was good, and we'll circle back around to him later.
Bout number 4 of the evening's Tony Evans and Jay De Niro versus the OVW Tag Champions Beaches and Cream in a no disqualification match
for the belts.
It kind of seems like, for the championships, it kind of seems like Beaches and Cream have made themselves into kind of like the go-to plunder warriors recently. Between this match, just like generally carrying Cream, always kind of like having a weapon at their disposal, the barroom brawl match. Kind of seems like these guys have kind of fallen into a niche where they're very, very comfortable with these kind of hard-hitting matches.
Yeah, and props.
And props, right.
Yeah, I mean, we still have the pool cue in here somewhere.
Go ahead.
I was just confirming the pool cue. You pointed at it.
I think that the biggest surprise of the night is, well, I guess it's twofold, right? I think that a lot of people thought Tony Evans and Jay De Niro were going to win.
I wondered.
And I also, I don't think that anybody saw the Will Austin contract ending thing.
No.
Will Austin didn't read the fine print on the Jay De Niro contract. It ended on December 31st. Yep. Or maybe December 31st at midnight, January 1st at 12:01. Those are usually the way those things work.
Yeah.
And so Jay De Niro is back like full force with Tony Evans now.
Yeah, not only that, but he made it clear in no uncertain terms that the agreement with Will Austin was off and he did it verbally. That's the first time.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, that's the first time we've heard him speak on camera since the duration of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see it. I'm glad it finally happened. I, like yourself, was wondering whether or not they were going to walk away with the championships. They started off strong with the heeliest of heel moves by playing hide and seek and hiding off to the sides of the stage and letting Beaches and Cream come out and then ambushing them from the back.
Yeah, and Omar spent a majority of this match like a
it was a
long
handicap
time
match
outside.
for the most part. Yeah.
Luscious really kind of doing another one of those. We talked about like Luscious is so great in these like singles babyface performances, and then Omar is so great at the hot tag.
Yeah.
We got both, baby.
Yeah.
We got both in one. Omar's out there chilling, catching his breath, comes in, hottest of hot tags, retains the championship. I don't. This Tony Evans and Jay De Niro thing is like is like Days of Our Lives though. Like it just.
That's what I've really had my eye on. I mean, granted, there's the rivalry and the hunt for the titles.
Sure.
On the Evans and De Niro side, but really my eye's been on how are these guys getting along? Are they functioning as a unit? Is there seem any sort of like discord between the two? Because there have been times when it's kind of been in doubt.
Well, and here's my question, I guess, moving forward, is Jay De Niro's contract expired on
December 31st.
December 31st at 11:59 or January 1st at 12:01. One of the two.
Or both. Who knows?
Will Austin won that contract that expired from Tony Evans.
Correct.
Does Tony Evans have a contract with Jay De Niro currently?
Without having any sort of confirmation, I would assume the answer is yes, or maybe they're just,
They're
handshake,
just a tag team now.
Handshake. Yeah, maybe they are just a tag team now. That I think that will be the thing to look forward to between those two. Is are we going to continue with a business relationship, or is Jay De Niro going to be Jay De Niro?
I honestly don't know.
With a microphone in his hand and everything.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear more of what promos from Jay De Niro sound like. Because we heard that. That was the first official thing that we had seen from him during our time as podcasters. But, around the office here, when they've stopped by a couple times, I heard some things.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You give the man some food and some liquor, he will open up a little bit.
Yeah. You hear something.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Rumble. Let's get into the whole big kit and caboodle here, shall we?
This was, personally, not only was this a great Rumble, from my personal opinion, what a great way for me to spend Saturday night. I had my son with me.
Mm-hmm.
I had my cousin's son, Weston, who came down from Columbus with his girlfriend, Mia. If you're listening, hello. Thank you for joining us. Had a wonderful time. And if I was going to introduce them to OVW Live for the first time, and I can't think of a better way to do it.
This is how you do it.
This is how you do it.
This was I've said this before, the Nightmare Rumble was my first OVW event in Davis Arena. My first OVW event, period.
What year?
Oh, God. Probably 2018, early 20, January 2018, I'd say.
So just after Al Snow took over, right?
Maybe directly prior.
Maybe the Nightmare Rumble before, when he would get it later that year.
Possibly directly prior, yeah.
Did they say 14 years of the Nightmare Rumble?
Oh, I didn't.
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, during the talking parts.
Yeah.
Maybe Brad said that when they were doing a commentary.
Yeah, possibly Brad said that. What is it with these 90s and early 2000s WWF heels not being able to get anybody's name right?
Maybe it's, too many shots to the head.
Maybe. Well, JBL was the one doling those out, right? No, he got that one. He did get that one from the ECW event where he got some retribution for beating up on somebody. I'll show you the video.
Okay.
I'll show you the
All
video.
right. Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
It's not important. So Brandon Beretta, he enters at number 1. We all knew that he was going to enter at number 1 after the Thursday night event.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Surge enters at number 2. Eric Surge had quite the rumble.
He most certainly did. He was in there for quite a long time. How many times did he get thrown out and pull himself back in? Probably 12,
Several.
15,
Several.
80?
More than 50 minutes in the Rumble.
Yeah, really, really, really incredible showing from Eric Surge. Probably the guy that I would not have circled on my list that I'm most impressed with after the Rumble.
I agree. I'm right there with you. And not only was his in-ring performance as solid as we've ever seen him, especially in a Rumble setting, commentary and how Eric Surge was talked about during the match was also equally as impressive.
Yes.
Brad and Linda and JBL did a great job.
All night.
All night.
Really.
They really did.
I think Donovan Cecil, not surprisingly, had a great little Rumble.
Of
I think
course.
Brandon Beretta, for what it's worth, had a nice little Rumble in his turkey
did.
suit.
So he eliminated somebody, correct? Does that mean the next time we see him?
I have it here, actually. Brandon Beretta eliminates Ashton Adonis.
Yeah, that's right. So does that mean the next time we see him, will he be wearing the turkey suit?
No, I think that might mean that Mr. Beretta's first actual victory comes against Ashton Adonis. I think Ashton Adonis will be mad, challenge Brandon Beretta to a match. Brandon Beretta takes home the victory there. Out of the turkey suit, Ashton Adonis kind of hasn't been able to buy a win recently. Kind of been looking booked to be a fool recently. So I think he'd be the perfect person for Beretta to beat.
That is a wonderful opponent.
I think that we kind of forecasted it a little bit potentially. Another one of my favorite spots in the evening was Doug Basham's first entrance.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so great.
Doug Basham's first entrance where everybody just kind of says, well,
no.
Yeah.
And then they all pick him up and carry him to the ropes and throw him out.
Yeah.
You've seen the Blues Brothers, right?
Yeah.
You know that scene in the church where Jake sees the light?
Yeah.
And James Brown is up there preaching and everybody's dancing and stuff. And there's a scene where they carry one guy out and everybody kind of like carries him out on their shoulders. That's kind of what Doug Basham got during this Rumble. Everybody kind of like just got him and they were like, nope.
A couple other things I think to look forward to out of the Rumble is a potential program between Big Zo and Ryan Von Rocket.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I think that your kind of your usual suspects, your Kyle Heroes, your Dustin Jacksons, your Adam Revolvers, all kind of your Jesse Goddard's. He had the great spot with the segue on the outside where he pushed Adam Revolver back in. I really like that. All of your perennial guys were they put on the performance that you expected them to have. You know, Kyle Hero was in peril all the time. You know,
which is par for the course,
right? Did you have something?
I actually want to jump back to the women's Rumble just to mention since you mentioned wacky surviving elimination spots, how Haley landed on somebody.
Oh,
climbed up on the wall, walked all the way around, and got on the stairs and got back in.
I totally forgot about that.
I knew somebody was going to do some Kingston-esque kind of maneuver to avoid being eliminated.
TW3 did that last year.
Right, and I kind of figured it would have been him, but I was surprised to see that it was Haley this time.
TW3 and Will Austin had a great spot on the outside where Will Austin was able to get himself back in, and then TW3 climbed over to, they both looked as if they were going to be eliminated, both hanging by their feet, and in their own style were able to get back in the ring. I thought that was a great little spot. Kind of just like comparing the two of them. I mean, they are equal in a lot of ways, right?
Sure. That's right here.
I think I want to talk about the Jebediah Blackhawk spot.
Wrestling musical magic.
Giving Jebediah Blackhawk the gangsters treatment was the funniest thing
I absolutely loved to see that.
I've ever seen. Just letting his music play the entirety of his performance in the match was the funniest thing. Are you familiar with the gangsters in ECW?
No. I am not.
When they would come to the ring, their original theme song was I think it's called Natural Born Killers. And the entire time they would come out to the ring, the music would play the whole time.
Like
So
they'd
their
have a
entire
whole match and the
the
music would
entire
play the
match,
whole
if it
time?
was a 20-minute long match, it was on for a loop, and it would just get people so hype, and it just like provided this crazy soundtrack to like this ultra violent thing that they were doing. And I loved the comparison between like Jebediah Blackhawk having it, and he's like so wholesome and family friendly, but it's like the same spot. Like I don't know. I loved it. I think obviously though, while we're talking about silly spots, while we're talking about just like things that brought everyone in the crowd a lot of joy, we gotta be talking about.
Oh, wait. Are we talking about who I think you're talking about?
There's only one guy we'd be talking about, baby.
Okay. So any other night, Jebediah Blackhawk's moment in the sun would have been my favorite moment.
Definitely.
It might still
Absolutely.
be mine unless I've forgotten something that y'all are about to remind me of.
Seems like you forgot.
I think we're going to have to go with the elephant in the room, Dude Love.
Oh, well, yeah.
Showing
I
up
just considered
after.
that was halftime of the Rumble. I didn't even really think of that as part of the Rumble.
Oh no! I mean, how often do you see the Duder out there these days?
That was of all of the things that, because I just assumed we saw Mick Foley. We saw he got advertised a couple weeks ago. He did commentary last year, as of course, where he called Jack Vaughn his new favorite wrestler. JBL also really, really put over Jack Vaughn in this Rumble too. There's something that Jack Vaughn, that era of guys love Jack Vaughn.
Well, sure, he's the veteran,
obviously.
And JBL was so excited to see Dude Love too. As long as we're talking about things JBL. Was excited about.
JBL looked like a baby, looked like a little kid clapping for Dude Love.
It's Dude Love.
The JBL that I am familiar with, I was not aware could have so much genuine like
Joy.
excitement and joy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Dude Love coming out to the ring, cutting the promo, chasing Jack Vaughn out, Jack Vaughn eliminating himself.
Okay, so the promo being, he was here to let us know that Mick Foley was not ready to come back yet, but he let everybody know that Jack Vaughn was the one that assaulted Mick Foley,
According to Dude Love.
according to Dude Love.
So we'll see.
We'll see. I tried to get a word with Jack Vaughn afterwards. He said that
He flatly denied it.
he coolly denied it and said that if you remember, I was the one who found him. I was the one who was holding him when after the attack. So we're going to have to do a little investigative journalism here in the following weeks to help try to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, hopefully maybe we can get another sit down with Mick Foley randomly. No, we're never going to get another one of those ever again.
I guess we could pay for cameos.
We could.
One question at a time.
One question at a time, baby. The rule, the randomizer, Doug Basham, comes out at 31. I know that we're moving fast here, and it's a 3-hour-long pay-per-view, and I apologize for maybe not speaking about some of this in as depth as we could, but we do have Fan Zone in about 45 minutes, and
we literally have to finish this up so we can
go live. And I really do want to take this moment to kind of apologize. I do want to take this moment also to make a joke. I think 2 jokes actually. Joey Avalon, he kind of looks like he'll be in the newest Rockers as Marty Jannetty stand-in. And then what was the other guy's name? Oh gosh, his last name was Hubris.
Yes,
and I thought that was a poor choice of.
I noticed that too
for a baby face.
Yeah,
I'm like, of all the concepts to name your fake name after, I don't think Hubris is the right one.
It's right up there with chutzpah.
Unless hubris means something different in Scottish.
No,
maybe
you're right.
Maybe that word doesn't mean what you think it means.
Maybe it doesn't. But those are my 2 jokes. But I did want to take a sincere moment to say, like, sorry we're moving so fast through this.
Yeah, and ordinarily, I mean, I keep pushing for us to like break this up into like 2 different mini episodes.
And I think in the future we should.
I mean,
y'all are gonna throw my number off. We'll figure it out.
Well,
do part 1, part 2. It's easy. It's easy, like in a book, like in Wicked. Can you believe that they're gonna get 6 hours? That play is like 2.5 hours long. They're gonna end up getting 6.5 hours out of those movies.
Well, there's more than one Wizard of Oz book in that series.
I get.
There are several books.
We
just generally only think of the one because of the movie that's coming up on 100 years old.
Movies need to be stopped. That's all I'm saying. And Doug Basham needs to be stopped. One of my most heartbreaking moments was Doug Basham eliminating Dustin Jackson after he came in on the 31st. I would have loved to see Dustin Jackson win it. Unfortunately, by the time Doug Basham is on the randomizer, everybody knows the fix is in.
Yeah.
That's as good as having Arn Anderson at ringside during a championship match.
Which
right
was
there.
a lot like the pay-per-view where he had the remote.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Was the Halloween one, right?
Halloween
Yeah.
Havoc.
So it's very much in that same vein from Doug Basham.
You're right.
So,
Doug does get lucky on the randomizer.
like you said, I think the fix is in.
Yeah, I think the
we'll
fix
have
might
to get
be
to
in.
the bottom of that as well.
And boy, ever was the fix in.
Yeah.
So EC3 comes out in his Yeezys.
Yeezy 3.
Yeezy 3, that's good. He comes out in his Yeezys. He comes out in his tracksuit. It's not an underarm thing, but it's like a walking stick.
Yeah.
It's
like you're going on a hike in
Yeah.
the forest.
He comes out and he says he's putting it on extra heavy, and he says he has a hangnail. And that he's willing to wrestle Cash another night, but it can't be that night.
Wah, party of one.
He has a hangnail.
I honestly laughed whenever he said he had a hangnail.
Millions are affected each year.
Cash Flow doesn't take that for
not.
any sort of answer. Never has, never will.
No.
Him and EC3 have a little bit of a match going on for a little bit.
The emphasis being a little bit.
Two of the refs get knocked out, and also while we're talking about referees, referee Alice Lane putting in not double action, not triple action, like quintuple action during this evening. She was all over the place. She was I feel like in every single match. Was she not?
She was right up there more than anybody else that I remember.
Up to and including this one, she comes out after the two ref bumps. She ends up getting bumped.
They roll over her. It was gruesome.
I don't remember seeing Charlene.
I don't think Charlene was there.
Charlene didn't work.
No.
JBL gets in to count, or that's what you think.
You can see, we were on the hard cam side, so we could clearly see, JBL start to get antsy. He stands up from the commentary
John
desk.
Dutton Layfield.
Yeah, takes off his headphones and comes to the ring. You think he's there to, fill in for the referee.
He's like, "Get off my ranch."
Yeah.
No, you think he's going to do the 2 count, or you think he's going to go down. He ends up nailing everyone in the ring.
He was like Oprah handing out cars. You get a clothesline, and you get a clothesline. And
I mean, if you're going to have JBL there,
right,
you got to have him clothesline people,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
mean,
that's what he does.
That's what he's there for.
But I did think that they kind of rained on everyone's parade with this ending. I'm not surprised. I kind of loved it. I love the chaos of it all. But I think people were really excited to see Cashflow win.
Yeah, I was. I thought, finally, this is where, Cash gets to beat EC3. He gets to bring the title back to OVW. I'm pretty sure everybody in the crowd felt it, until the end of the Men's Rumble.
Right. So I guess what they gave away this year to the winners of the Rumbles was called the Key of Opportunity.
Yes.
Was not a future title shot per se. It seems to be like a combination of a Money in the Bank / a title shot / a contract decision. I don't know exactly what it is. Doug uses it to make it a triple threat match after JBL's laid everyone out. And he becomes the new.
Yeah. Everybody has been laid to waste. EC3, Cashflow, all the wrestlers in OVW. There's nobody left.
All the refs.
Yeah, all the refs.
The locker room is just filled with bodies.
And now Doug Basham is our national heavyweight champion.
The national heavyweight champion.
Well, I guess this begs the question. I'll ask you I'll ask you it now. What's next for the national heavyweight championship?
That's the beauty of it. I don't have any earthly idea, but I want to tune in next time to see what happens.
You know what I would like?
What?
a redesign, all leather.
You know, two upsides here, gentlemen. As disappointing, and I heard there were literally children crying when Doug won the belt. And Davis Arena.
That bums me out, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was wasn't a super great look. Wasn't a super fun night for everybody, but at least it's not EC3.
You don't think he looks like Marty Jannetty?
Oh, yeah. Okay, he does.
Who's this? Oh,
Yeah.
He looks just like him.
Mm-hmm. That's the Marty Jannetty we have at home.
the belt will be around Davis Arena.
That's
Title.
true.
The title, I'm sorry. I keep using the word belt. I don't know where I got the end of that habit from. The title will be around Davis Arena, so we will see it more.
And also, I don't think that this necessarily puts cash flow out of contention for it by any stretch of the imagination.
I think it sets up a great rivalry between Leather Daddy Doug Basham and Cash Flow.
I think that is most likely where we're going.
Yeah, and I can't wait.
And let's face it, Doug does have the national profile enough to carry that national heavyweight championship.
Well, and on top of that, like the Revolution kind of feels like their power was in question a little bit recently. This just gives Doug Basham all of the authority to be as silly and as all of the things that we've loved out
as
of this run.
As revolutionary as he wants to be.
All of the things that we've loved about him in this run. This, even though Al Snow is back in control, he's been stripped of the official power. This championship gives him the reason to continue to act the way that he's been acting.
He's got the unofficial power.
He's got the belt, the title, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. So that's been our coverage of Nightmare Rumble. Boys, we sped through that one. Again, thanks for sticking with us. This was kind of a rough episode, but we've been snowed in for 3 days. And
yeah, I literally saw you for the first time since the Rumble.
Yeah.
A half hour before we sat down here on the couch.
Yeah, and we got right to it. And now it's, we need to do changeover and get live and do all of that stuff. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this. If you're listening to this tomorrow morning, I hope that you joined us on FanZone Live tonight. For those of you that don't know, Wednesday night, 7 p.m., FanZone Live, OVW TV. My name is Jack Minox, Brian Hines,
Yep,
Tiny Brian, Malachi P.S. Woodard. Thank you, guys.